the American dream. For generations, these words promised a simple, powerful idea. If you worked hard and played by the rules, you could achieve a better life. You could own a home. You could send your children to college. You could retire with security. This dream was a beacon of hope, not just for Americans, but for people around the world. It suggested a land of opportunity, where your starting point in life did not determine your end point. After World War II, America built a strong middle class. Good-paying factory jobs were plentiful, even for those without a college degree. Unions helped ensure fair wages and benefits. The government invested in infrastructure, education, and research. This created a virtuous cycle of prosperity. As businesses thrived, workers earned more, and they, in turn, spent more, further boosting the economy. But today, for too many, that dream feels distant. Hard work alone no longer guarantees success, or even stability. Young people graduate with crushing student debt, struggling to find jobs that pay a living wage. The cost of housing, healthcare, and education has soared, while wages for most have stagnated. We must ask ourselves, what happened to that promise, and how can we reclaim it for everyone? One of the biggest cracks in our foundation is staggering wealth inequality. For decades, the gap between the super-rich and everyone else has widened dramatically. A tiny fraction at the top now holds a disproportionate share of the nation's wealth. This isn't an accident. It's the result of policies that have favored corporations and the wealthy, while wages for ordinary workers have barely budged. Tax cuts for the rich, deregulation, and the decline of unions have all played a part. This concentration of wealth distorts our economy and our democracy, giving a few too much power over our lives. It means less opportunity for those born without privilege. It means communities struggling with underfunded schools and crumbling public services. It means families working multiple jobs just to stay afloat, with little time or energy left for civic engagement or family life. Alongside this inequality, our nation's infrastructure is literally crumbling. Roads, bridges, water systems, and public transit are in desperate need of repair and modernization. For too long, we have neglected these essential public goods. This political malaise is a serious threat to reviving the American dream. While America grapples with its internal challenges, the global landscape is also changing rapidly. We are seeing the rise of new economic powers, particularly the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries represent a growing share of the world's population and economic output. They are increasingly asserting their influence on the world stage, challenging the post-Cold War dominance once held by the United States and its traditional allies. This shift is not inherently negative, but it requires America to adapt. The rise of BRICS signifies a move towards a more multipolar world. For America, this means that unquestioned leadership is no longer a given. To maintain a strong and positive influence globally, America must first get its own house in order. Rethinking our economic compass towards a fairer system. For decades, our economic policies have been guided by a belief that what's good for corporations and the wealthy will eventually trickle down to everyone else. This theory has largely failed. We've seen record corporate profits and soaring CEO pay, but wages for most Americans have stagnated. The benefits have not trickled down, they have gushed upwards. It's time to abandon this flawed model. We need an economic compass that points towards shared prosperity, not just growth at the very top. This means prioritizing investments in the foundations of a strong society, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Investing in education, from early childhood programs to affordable college and vocational training, is crucial. A well-educated populace is more productive, more innovative, and more engaged. Similarly, universal access to quality, affordable healthcare is essential. Health is a human right, not a privilege. Finally, we must make massive, sustained investments in modernizing our infrastructure. A paradigm shift towards these public investments is not radical, it's common sense. The media's double-edged sword shaping reality, influencing democracy. The media plays a powerful role in any democracy. It can inform the public, hold power accountable, and facilitate healthy debate. A free and vibrant press is often called the fourth estate, a crucial check on government and other powerful institutions. However, the media landscape today faces significant challenges. The rise of social media, the decline of local news outlets, and the polarization of news sources have created a complex and often confusing environment. Misinformation and disinformation can spread rapidly, making it difficult for citizens to distinguish fact from fiction. To strengthen our democracy, we need a media ecosystem that better serves the public interest. Seeds of change. Exploring new economic structures. The current economic model, with its emphasis on maximizing shareholder value above all else, has contributed significantly to inequality and insecurity. But it's not the only way to organize our economic lives. There are alternative structures that prioritize workers, communities, and long-term sustainability. One such alternative gaining traction is the worker cooperative. In a worker co-op, the business is owned and democratically controlled by its employees. This means workers have a direct stake in the success of the enterprise and a voice in its decisions. Worker cooperatives offer several potential benefits. Because workers are owners, they tend to be more engaged, productive, and committed. Profits are shared more equitably among those who create the value, rather than flowing primarily to outside shareholders or executives. Exploring and supporting these alternative economic structures is a vital part of reviving the American dream. Voices from the crossroads. Rebuilding the dream together. Consider Maria, a single mother in Ohio. She works 2 jobs, one as a home health aide and another at a fast food restaurant, yet still struggles to pay rent and put food on the table. Her daughter, bright and eager, dreams of college, but Maria doesn't know how they'll ever afford it. Maria remembers her parents, who had factory jobs, owning their home and taking family vacations. The dream feels like it's for other people now, she says, her voice tinged with a mix of fatigue and frustration. Her story is not unique. It echoes across millions of American households where hard work no longer guarantees a decent life. Then there's David, a former steelworker in Pennsylvania. His plant closed down years ago, the jobs shipped overseas. He retrained as a truck driver, but automation now threatens that livelihood too. His town, once vibrant, is hollowed out. Storefronts are boarded up, and young people leave as soon as they can. But amidst the struggle, there are also sparks of hope and action. The task is urgent, but together, we can forge a new path forward.